What is up? Welcome to Post Concert High, the podcast where the show doesn't end. Follow along as we chat about all things concerts, bands, and venues in the CLE. Do you have your ticket ready? Because the show is about to begin.
Hello.
Hello.
How was your week?
It was a week.
Yeah, it was a week, but
Yeah.
that's okay.
We
We
made
all
it.
have those.
We made it through at least.
We made it through. What's going on?
I don't know. I'm ready for a show.
We need to go to a show.
Yeah.
It's been way too long.
Yeah. We haven't gone to any shows this year, which is,
Crazy.
too
Craziness.
far. Too long with no show.
Yeah. But today's show, we are talking about our last show that we went to,
It was so long ago.
which was in December.
It was December. Yeah.
Mm,
And it was our first time at the Roxy.
It was the first time we were at the Roxy. And it was called Rock the Halls, and all of the money, like the proceeds and stuff, went to ending human trafficking, which is really cool.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of bands at this show.
Yeah, there was 5.
Truss, Solon, Cool Party, Grosh, and the Little Ditties. And we were just talking, we ended up not seeing the Little Ditties.
Yeah, we got there after they had started, and I think they were playing one of their last few songs.
So we saw some of them.
Yeah.
Like just like a song or two from them.
Yeah. I think we were trying to navigate how to get in there and like where to go. And
right.
yeah.
Because there's so many different like entrances and like parts of that building. So
Right. Well, and like you walk up the ramp and then there's that window. And we walked in and they're like, you need to check in at the window. It's like, well, there was nobody at
there
the
was
window.
no one there, right?
So we went back and it was freezing cold.
It was very
Standing
cold
outside
out.
at this window. It's like, I don't know who thought about this, but do you know we do live in Ohio and it gets cold?
Yeah, they didn't care.
Maybe the check-in window should just be for during the summer.
Just summer, yeah. When it's fine to hang outside.
Yeah.
Not 0 degrees out.
But I get it that, they only have so much space and I think they're trying to use it
For sure.
as
And that I actually really, really like the Roxy. I think that's probably one of my favorite parts of that building.
I would agree with that. Yes.
Yeah. Just because they're bathrooms.
There's lots of options for bathrooms.
There's a lot of options, yes. Anyway, so we are going to talk about the Rock the Halls show at the Roxy at Mahall's. All proceeds went to the Renee Jones Empowerment Center. It is a 501c3 nonprofit organization located on the near west side of Cleveland, Ohio, which is awesome. I love when fundraisers go directly to like where like you live.
Local.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their primary objectives are to enrich the lives of adults and children we serve by offering unique programs and services that rebuild broken spirits and build strong, healthy self-esteem, which is really cool.
Yes, very.
So we could always throw their tag down there if you guys want to look more into the Renee Jones Empowerment Center.
Yeah.
Cool. So anyway, yeah, they ended up raising over $3,000 for the women's shelter.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, it was more than they raised in previous years. I don't know how many years they've been doing this, but yeah, that's a good chunk of money.
Yeah. We should do this. We should do this one again next year.
Yeah.
Or this year.
And that was between ticket sales and a silent auction. I don't know when they held the silent auction. If it was was there an auction there? And we didn't
They had those they had booths set up.
Oh.
Do you remember?
Okay.
Like
Maybe
outside
I'm
of
completely
I'm pretty sure they had
blanking on that.
the booths set up across from where the bar was.
Oh, okay.
Selling stuff, but I don't know if it was
It was
the silent auction.
I thought that was merch. So maybe they did have a table that was silent auction stuff and I just didn't realize.
Maybe. I also don't remember that.
Yeah, I remember seeing merch
Me too.
because I recognized Truss's merch
Yeah.
from when we saw them at the grog shop.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, maybe they had something over there also.
It has been like 5 months or 6 months and 5 months since this show.
Insane.
So
Yeah, we're very far behind. We need to get on this. We need to go.
yeah.
So anyway, we will talk about all of the bands that were there. Do you want to start with the little ditties?
Yeah. So we didn't see them. We just heard the end of their set, but they are a mostly teenage girl rock band from Cleveland. They were formed in December of 2022. So they have put in about 16 hours of studio time towards their album, but their schedules have been pretty busy, so they haven't been back in a while. But they're hoping to be back in there before summer's end. So be on the lookout for new music from them, which is awesome. Uh, they did say they had a blast playing at the Rock the Halls event, which is pretty cool.
Awesome.
And I did find an article on them. This one, yeah, it's from October of last year. So we'll post a link to this. It has a little bit more of their background in here. Who plays what instrument?
Oh, that's awesome.
Who they've played with before.
The band formed in December of 22. The bass guitarist Lana Collins posted a recruitment message on Snapchat for like local musicians interested in joining a girl band. That's kind of social media is crazy. You can do like everything on it now.
Right.
I would have not thought about that on Snapchat.
Well, I would have never thought about posting on Craigslist either,
True.
like Senses did.
True. Good point. Touche.
But they do strange things, so.
Huh.
But
Yeah.
yeah, two of them are members of the Lakewood Project, which is Lakewood High School's rock orchestra,
Cool.
which is really cool. Participated in musical theater, choir, so they seem like they have
Yeah, that had to be
history.
a lot.
Yeah. So on top of just high school in general
Yeah.
and having a band
Crazy.
and doing gigs, that's a lot. I don't know how they do it,
Yeah.
but they do it.
Good for them.
They thrive on the joy of performing and creating music. Hours of dedication are all channeled into one moment, a connection between a stage and the audience. Yeah, but we'll post this article.
Yeah, it's a good article. Definitely read it. Next was Grosh.
Grosh. We have a lot of information on them.
Yes.
Because their website is, I love the way their website is laid out.
Yeah.
It it talks about them. It has all their shows, but then each one of them individually it gives a
It's
background.
so professional.
I know it's laid out very nice. And when we reached out to them, they were very generous on the information they provided, which I
Yeah, I love that.
love that.
Yeah, for sure.
It was awesome.
Awesome.
But
They're
yeah,
from Buffalo, New York, I believe.
yeah, they drove down from Buffalo for this event, which is pretty awesome.
That is pretty cool.
But you got Megan Brown on vocals, Josh English on drums, Dylan Hunt on bass, and Grace Laugan on guitar. She is awesome
Yeah, she
on
was
guitar.
pretty badass. I do remember that.
Yeah, I have some videos of her, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
like she just stood there with her eyes closed, and she just like felt the music and played.
Yeah.
It was like
I feel like you can just tell when someone knows what they're doing.
yeah,
And she was like so natural up there.
yeah. I feel like the whole band was though.
Yeah, they were very professional, very they knew what like they were doing.
Yeah.
And everything went as planned.
Yeah.
At least what we could see. I know that's different when you're on the other side, but
Yeah. I have an article on them that we'll post too. It talks about them recording their album that just came out.
do they classify themselves as gender blending powerhouses?
Yes.
Or okay.
Yeah.
So they classify themselves as gender blending powerhouse that effortlessly melds hard rock, blues, and funk into a unique sonic experience.
Genre blending.
Gender blending.
Genre blending.
Genre.
Not gender blending.
Gender blending powerhouse. Oh,
Genre.
it's been a day. Genre blending powerhouse. Dear Lord. Anyway. Some of their do we have any of their popular songs that we have that they like?
Oh, I can pull those up real fast.
Genre blending.
Genre, not gender.
Gender blending. Gender.
They're all from their new album. So their new album is called Start Again, and this was actually recorded. Where is it? So they recorded their most recent album in Cornelo, Texas, at a legendary studio called Sonic Ranch. It was their first album working with a producer, and that was none other than Tim LaFave, which we talked about.
Yes.
He's a legendary bass player. He played bass for David Bowie on the Black Star album, Elvis Costello, Kadeshi Truck Bands, and the Black Crowes, to name a few.
Cool.
But all of their most popular songs are from the new album. So Mansplain, Head First, Start Again, Careless, Don't Trust Nobody, Alan Watts. I don't know if they played any of their songs from their new album at the show.
When did their album come out?
It came out February 28th.
Oh, so they did not.
Probably not.
No.
No, unless they had some singles released. But that article is very good. We'll post that so
Yes.
you can read it.
Very cool.
But they were awarded Best Local Original Music Act by Buffalo Spree.
Speaking of cool, the next group is Cool Party. LOL. That was such a dad joke.
It was a dad
Oh
joke.
my god. God, I'm just slacking today. I'm
Yeah. You're gender blending.
gender blending.
I'm never going to forget that.
Oh my god.
I might make it into a t-shirt for you.
Gender blending. Perfect. Like, what does that even mean?
I don't know. You tell me. You're the one that
I'll
said
come up
it.
with a good
Okay.
I'll come up with it for next time.
Okay.
So Cool Party is an indie girl rage bagel shoegazy rock band.
It's a mouthful, isn't it?
Especially after my gender blending. Indie girl rage bagel shoegazy rock band.
Perfect.
Interesting. Yeah. That is quite a way to describe yourself.
That's
Rage bagel.
rage bagel. I don't know what that means. They did not throw any bagels. So,
Did they trademark that? Because I like that.
right? They should.
Rage bagel.
They absolutely should.
The group takes influence from groups like Wednesday, Feeble Little Horse, Mannequin Pussy, BCNR, MJ Lenderman, and so many more, creating sounds for people who enjoy women, loud noises, arson, etc.
There was no fires either.
There wasn't. That would have been interesting though. So the members are Laurel, who is the lead vocal and guitarist. Mario is guitar and vocals, and Andy is bass vocals and screams. That's very specific.
It is very
Screams.
specific, but that's what they said.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Between heavy hitters and soft vocals, just put a bow on it and not giving a fuck. We are a sweet baby princess babies. What? We are the sweet baby princess babies who play instruments together sometimes.
I thought they were very interesting.
They were.
They
liked
were
them.
They were very chill. They're definitely more like an indie
They were young.
group.
They were very young also.
They were young, and it was different how, normally the lead singer talks to the crowd,
Yes, but
and it was Andy that was doing all the talking,
yes.
which was a very different
Yes. It was
setup.
different. It was.
Yeah.
I think they have a lot of potential.
Yeah.
They could go they can go somewhere. But yeah, they were
somewhere.
I don't know. Today's the day.
Great
We're
today.
doing so good. It's been a few days. Anyway, yeah, I like them. I thought they were pretty cool. It was a good lineup, and it didn't feel extremely long, you know? I felt like this one felt very, very, what's the word? Like it just like kept going.
Yeah.
They moved it very well.
But it didn't feel like it was too short.
True. Yeah.
I wouldn't have put the bands in the order that they did, but that's just my personal preference.
Agreed.
But it was nice to have Cool Party in the middle because it gave the crowd a little bit of a
it was more chill.
break, a little more chill. And that's when it seemed to get a little bit more busier. Because when we got there wasn't that many people. Because we were right up at the barricade, which was really nice.
It was. We were like right up front.
Yeah.
I think around Cool Party after that, like that's when a lot of people got there.
Yeah.
But maybe also a lot of people were out like by the bar during the first couple, because I feel like when we walked in, it was like packed.
Yeah, it was crowded out in that area.
More than even like when like that were out on the main floor.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe they all just started coming in later.
Yeah.
So they were next. It was just 3 of them, which I like when it's just like a smaller band, but like you can like make it sound. They made it sound like a full.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they were pretty good. I really enjoyed them. I found it. I always like to look at everyone's like style and stuff, and they felt very like they're almost, if you didn't see them playing in a band, you wouldn't think they would be in a band.
Yeah.
Like they just like it was cool because like cool part. It was cool because like it wasn't what I was expecting, I guess.
Yeah, I was not
it was good. Like
cool,
it was different.
Like when I think Cool Party, I think of like, okay, party, you think somebody that's going to have a lot of energy and be out there, and they're kind of the opposite of that in the fact of like they're chill.
Yes. Which is cool. Like it was just not what I was expecting, but it was like a good not what I was expecting.
Yeah.
And like the outfits that they had on, like if I'm remembering correctly, I think like the bass player was wearing like this cute little dress.
Yeah, and like high heels.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how you're gonna stand and play in those, but she did it.
But it was really nice. I thought it was cool that it was all different, like compared to like normal band stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, good for you guys.
Yeah.
And then next was Solon, right?
Solon. Yeah, they're a sexy synth pop with a cherry on top.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably would have switched them and Grosh.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
That's what
preference wise.
Yeah.
That's like what I probably
I would have kept Cool Party in the middle because it was nice to have that like break in the middle.
Yes, agreed.
Like a lot of bands do with their sets, but yeah, I would have switched Grosh and Solon, but they were different. You and I were very confused when they first started coming out because they were all like, most of them were in like business clothes.
Yeah.
Like the girl had like a business suit on.
Yeah.
The guys had like suits on, and I was like,
did they just
what
come from work?
What genre what genre of music is this band?
Yeah, but they were they were pretty good too.
I liked them. They were different.
Yes.
They're gonna be releasing a couple new songs here. They actually started a recording. So they'll be releasing some new music soon, which is pretty cool.
Perfect. Love it. Awesome. Awesome. And now to get to Truss.
We love Truss.
So we actually reached out to a couple bands and they were one of them. And we actually did receive an email back from them. And do you wanna do the
We just got a message back from them.
We did?
Yeah, actually all 5 of these bands responded back to us.
Oh, I love that.
Which we really, really appreciate them getting back to
Totally.
us. But we have some exclusive info on Truss.
Yeah.
So you can hear it here first. So they are in the process of recording their sophomore record, which is going to be released in June of this year.
Yeah.
They're going to be having an album release show. So be on the lookout for that. They're going to be announcing that in the next few weeks.
Love it. We are so excited.
Yes. They are also going to be headlining at the Rock Hall this August.
How cool.
Which is really, really cool. I actually really want to go there again. I haven't been to the Rock Hall in a few years.
We should go.
Actually, it might be like 10 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's been like 10 years. That would be a fun.
That would be cool. Is it like, are they doing like the rock? Like, what is it? I know they have like a high school rock off, but they're not in high school.
Right. I think they do other
events and stuff.
Yeah, at the Rock Hall.
When do they do like the induction things?
They just did the nominees.
Recently?
Yeah. I don't know when the actual induction ceremony is, but I know they just settled on who was getting in. They had posted the nominations, I think, towards the beginning of the year.
Huh. Oh, they're also going to be playing at a couple bigger festivals this year, too, which is cool.
So the list of 14 performer nominees for this year was Bad Company, The Black Crowes, Mariah Carey, Chubby Checker, Joe Cocker?
Joe Cocker, yeah.
Billy Idol, Joy Division, New Order, Cyndi Lauper,
Mana?
Mana? Oasis, Outkast, Fish, Soundgarden, and the White Stripes. I'm pretty sure they have selected it already, who got in. But I could be wrong.
The induction ceremony is going to be held in Los Angeles this year.
So it's going through April 21st. You can pick up to 7 once per day through August 21st. So they have not settled yet. I thought they ended it, but I was wrong.
I'm going to vote right now. Y'all should go vote for who's going into the thing.
Yes. Go on their website. Outkast. God, that's such a throwback. Right?
All right. I said, now, ladies. Yeah. What's cooler than being cool?
Ice cold.
I can't hear you. Ice cold. All right. Roses really smell like ooh, ooh, ooh. That song?
Yeah, I remember that song too.
Or Oasis. What was their main one?
I have no idea.
Did they do I want to say Africa, but I don't think that's right. All right, Oasis band songs.
So this year's Rock Hall of Fame induction ceremony will take place in the fall.
Wonderwall.
Not
Africa.
Not close.
Not even close.
So it's going to take place in the fall in Los Angeles, California.
Yes.
Because that makes sense, because the Rock Hall's here.
I think they go back and forth.
It should just always be here.
You're right. But who wants to come to Cleveland when they all live in Los Angeles?
Everybody should want to come to Cleveland. It's awesome here.
All the cool
we have
people
the best
here.
roads.
The best roads ever.
They're in perfect condition.
No potholes.
The weather is always beautiful.
Always 75 degrees and sunny. No clouds in the sky. Always blue. No rain. But let me just throw out, we do not have any really terrible big weather issues.
No, we don't have like hurricanes.
We also don't have a lot of venomous things.
No, like scorpions.
And like those scary snakes and stuff.
Yeah.
Big snakes.
Ugh.
We don't have hurricanes.
No. We might get a tornado warning. We actually did have a tornado that came through last year.
We've been getting a lot of tornadoes.
Yeah, but we had that one like right up on Manor Avenue.
By my parents' house, and I was like, it's okay if I die.
Were you there when it came through? Oh my gosh.
No, I wasn't.
Oh, okay.
Funny story. My parents will love to hear this. So it was like in the middle of the night. Because wasn't it? It was like late.
Yeah.
It was like midnight or something. And like, I was asleep.
Yeah.
At home.
Okay.
My parents apparently, my mom called me and she's like, are you guys in the basement? And I was like, no. I'm sleeping. If it's my time to go, it's my time to go. And then I hung up. And then I realized after the fact that it literally went through my, like, right next to my parents' house. And I was like, I'm glad you guys were okay.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I was sleeping though. And you know what that means. I just am very mean when I'm sleeping and get woken up.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if it's my time to go. And then the next day my mom was like, are you okay? I was like, Mom, I was tired. It's fine.
Just don't interrupt me when I'm sleeping.
Right.
I don't care if it's.
But honestly, if you think about it, wouldn't you rather go in your sleep versus
Absolutely.
like being awake when you're like having a tornado?
Absolutely.
I would rather get like,
yeah,
when I'm sleeping. Then I don't know.
I mean,
then you don't feel it.
Yeah.
You just go.
You just go. Bye-bye.
Anyway, this got really dark.
It did.
Very fast.
Anyway.
So yeah, Truss, I personally really like them. Just in general.
I do too.
I know we've talked about them before, but like her voice is just so like different and pure.
Yeah.
And like there's so much behind it.
Yeah. We did talk about them. So we saw them at the Grog Shop for 10 year.
Mm-hmm.
With four times louder.
Which I thought both of those two were good fits for that show.
Yeah. They were.
Like they were like not too heavy, and then like 10 years much heavier than both of them.
Yeah.
Like they were that was a show that Danielle and I were like, this is different than our normal,
It was
heavier.
Different. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, no, I like them. I would go see them again. Which I'm sure we will. The Rock Hall one would be good.
Yeah, that would be fun. And that's in August, so
perfect.
Hopefully it'll be warm, but they have a lot going on this year. They're doing a lot of shows. They have a couple of bigger festivals that
love it.
They haven't released information on yet, but that will be coming out. Yeah, episode 3. So if you want to hear more about Truss, check out episode 3 because we talked about them.
For sure. But yeah, this whole show, I hope they keep going on for a long time.
Yeah, I love going to shows like this too when it's, your money's
going to some, like, I mean, obviously it goes to the band and stuff when we're doing it, but like, I like when bands are just like volunteering to go play at an event that, which I'm sure they probably got paid at something for being there. But like when bands go and try to like get the word out about certain things, like,
right.
I think that says a lot about the band also.
Right.
So,
and like all of these bands were local bands except for Grosh.
Yeah.
But I mean, they had to drive all the way down from Buffalo.
Which also says a lot.
Right. Especially because it was December.
And
you never know.
Yeah. You can't really, I think that's hard to commit if you're living super far away.
Right.
In Ohio climate.
Right.
Or even Buffalo, New York.
Right.
Like, you don't know.
Because this was shortly after the Forest Black show. And if you listen to the Forest Black show,
That was a whole thing.
We talked about that show almost didn't happen because they literally shut the highway down
Lovely
because the weather was so bad.
so great. I have a dog chewing a bone on my foot right now.
Yeah, well, at least you don't have her butt on your feet because her butt are on my feet.
She's comfortable. That is all that matters.
At least she's not squeaking her loud squeaky toy today.
True. She's very content though. So yeah, I think if they continue this event, I think it'll continue to grow. I feel like a lot of people, especially nowadays, stand up for like to do things that fund and help things that are making a difference in their local communities. So.
Yeah. And I don't know if they'll have this at the Roxy again, but with the Roxy being newer.
Right.
And them playing more shows.
Right.
Hopefully that'll help.
Yeah.
Get the word out about this with people going to the Roxy all the time for shows. So, which a lot of their shows I think have sold out.
I
recently.
think that's probably one of my top places. The Roxy. Out of everything.
I like it. It's not my top.
And the
but
Agora.
I like it.
The Agora is up there.
Yeah. The Agora is my favorite.
Yeah. It's a good one. But yeah, that's pretty much all we have for that. But we are going to be looking at new concerts to go to after this. So we are going to be going to a concert. Or by the time this show gets let out, we may have already gone. But we have concerts coming up and we look forward to going to new ones and seeing new bands.
Yeah.
And talking more about them.
Yeah, and it'll be nice talking about them shortly after the show and not months or almost a year later.
Post recording it very far. Yeah.
Which I feel like both of us retain our concert experiences very thoroughly, but
it'll definitely help.
Yeah.
Having it just happened.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm excited.
I'm very excited too.
But yeah, you guys will have a lot of cool things to look forward to. And yeah, we look forward to it.
Yeah. We'll post all the information about the bands that we got.
Awesome.
And shout out to all of them again for responding because we really appreciate them taking the time.
Yes, so appreciate it. Thank you guys for reaching back out to us after we did. And we hope to keep in touch with some of you guys. Maybe we can help get some stuff out and maybe even have you guys on the show. That would be cool sometime.
That would be awesome.
You know? But yeah, so that's all we have for you today. We hope you guys have a wonderful week.
Have a great week.
Peace out.
Bye.
We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Come back for more awkward millennial concert adventures. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at Post Concert High. Be on the lookout for future episodes on YouTube.